Why is the grid back to front?
I'm starting last, so I can only go
I don't know.
forward from here out.
It's probably just a mistake by whoever played the track or something. I don't know.
Is there any punishment if anyone jumps to start, or does it just give a notification at the minute?
For circuit right now, it just gives a notification and also marks it in the race results. So when it saves, and you can see on the website, they'll be marked as having jumped.
Oh, okay.
In rallycross mode, jump starts will give you a penalty joker.
Okay. That's cool.
And in the circuit, once we add mandatory pits, which I was holding off simply because I didn't want to make too many changes before this event, then we'll have an option that jumping to start will give you a stop and go.
Oh, right. Stop and go as well, not just like driving through the pits.
Well, drive through. No, whatever.
Okay, alright, okay. I thought you had some like super advanced pit system and you were gonna force people to stop for 10 seconds and
Well, eventually, yes.
okay.
That is the plan.
That's the plan, okay.
But for now, we'll have a drive-through.
Like, would you say that
one
you're
of the
focusing
things-
like more heavily on like the proper racing aspect? Like, you know, you've got a rallycross mode like dedicated with joker laps and things, and forcing people to do a joker lap if they jump start. You're thinking about pit stops and mandatory pit stop features and things like that. I know you've got this like asterisk to law friendly stuff with the Mario and things, but would you say you're more focusing on the proper racing side of things and bringing in features that help with that?
I am focused on the fun.
Okay, so just but you said at the start it's like whatever people want more, right?
Yeah, so like I wouldn't say we're more focused on serious racing. It's just that serious racing can be a lot of fun, and a lot of people want it.
Yeah, okay.
Like we have like 5 people waiting to host an event here that's saying, we'll just do it once we have multi-class with mandatory pit stops, because that's the kind of event they want to host.
Right. Okay.
So like I want to add that kind of stuff that's more serious and more like an analog to a sim racing game, but you know I also want to have stuff like Mario Kart because it's fun, and I want to add stuff like I mentioned before, the classic racing game modes like tag and capture the flag and virus and those kind of things.
Yeah,
those are fun.
Gotcha.
So I'm chasing the fun, and there's just a lot of different ways that you can have fun.
Yeah, and it depends on what people are requesting and wanting to see most.
Yes. So like I said before, community choice in the Discord is where you can make your choice heard and vote on what I do, what I prioritize.
Hey, had some good racing in a kart on a FiveM server with no lag bubbles. Asterisk.
Also, with the system that Noxus has in place,
I think I just lag bubbled. Sorry, continue.
I said with the system that Noxus has in place, with cost dependent, it would be really easy to spin up more servers.
Right.
So we could, maybe if people want to do serious racing on one server, and then we have another server to say like Mario Kart or whatever fun racing people want to do.
Right.
It's not just going to be lots of one or two racing servers. We can diverge.
You can scale
whenever we need to.
If you need to.
Yeah, it's very very scalable.
Okay.
It all comes back to that modularity speak that Noxus goes on about.
Yeah. Well, considering I started at the back, maybe Mario Kart racing is my thing.
Mario Kart stream win?
Well, I doubt a win is going to happen, but some people get so much more speed over the jump. And I got more speed one time. It feels like it's just random how much speed you get from the boosts.
Blame Whitey, he's the one who put the boosts there.
Okay.
Look at that fastest lap from Whitey, he's totally shooting. He knows where the boosts are.
I mean, yeah, this is fun. You know, having karts around a track like this. It's also unique. It's not something that like I never thought I'd be doing in GTA or any FiveM server.
Think again.
Props to the work that you guys have been doing.
Oh, thank you.
Can I keep this top 5?
That went poorly.
That's the thing. It actually feels like I hesitate to say like natural or right because it's also so wrong. Like, to be driving around a track like this in a GTA kart, but it feels, you know, nice to drive. Like the track is smooth, the kart works on this track, and it's giving a good driving experience.
Yeah.
Even though it's completely out there.
I mean, if you strip away all the scenery and make the curves a little bit smaller, it's pretty much like a normal kart track.
Yeah.
Maybe not the elevation changes, but
It's a kart track that's smooth, which is hard to do with props.
Yeah, that's true. Obviously, we haven't seen much of the Nürburgring because problems.
Blue flag.
Are you planning like more real world tracks, or is it just that the Nürburgring has already been mapped or something?
Don't worry, there's more asterisks.
Oh, there's more asterisks. Okay, plenty more asterisks. Yeah, this is good fun, and like I said, it feels right. It feels nice to drive around here in this kart. It's a fun experience.
So I will say about real tracks is basically anything that has been ported is fair game. But there's one exception, and that is Monaco, which I have been working on for way too long. Something is wrong with it. It crashes the game. I cannot figure out how to fix it.
Okay.
I have ripped the Monaco map apart and put it back together again so many times, and I can't figure out why it crashes again.
So I'm curious, who is it and how are they doing it? Like porting real world tracks into like to work with GTA in the first place?
There's various people. If you go on FiveMods and just search for real world tracks, you'll find a bunch. I know like Spa and Monaco and, well, I don't want to attribute things to the wrong people, but I know there's one guy called GTA Belgium that ports a bunch of maps. And Nürburgring, the Nordschleife, is a whole other level. The guy that ported the Nordschleife spent 2 whole years on that.
Wow. And like, where do they come from? Like the model, I'm guessing they come from another game and then are like janked to made to work in GTA and stuff.
The Nürburgring and Nordschleife came from Assetto Corsa.
Okay.
And the pit lane came from Forza Motorsport 7.
Yes.
Yeah, so pretty much what we're saying is no real world cars.
Right.
And like if cars have liveries, then they have to be like GTA brands or law friendly brands or whatever.
Yeah.
It's because when you start adding in real world cars and having the GTA cars as well, it kind of becomes disjointed in
bit of
some
a
ways.
mess, I guess.
Yeah.
And as weird as it is to think about, the real world cars tend to be lower quality than the lore friendly cars. Because they're all just rips from other games.
I can understand that actually. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, wow. Lookout Point. What is this from? Why do I recognize this?
This is the intro canyon to Need for Speed Carbon.
Need for Speed Carbon. Oh, I did play that. Wow, okay.
Yeah, so if you customize this Sentinel GTR correctly, then this is the intro to the game, full stop.
Oh really? You can actually just completely recreate the intro to that game in this game.
Yeah, let me find you.
Oh, this is just the GTR, not the M24, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah.
Another Rio creation.
Man, okay.
Oh, BMY did the same thing. Right.
Was it Carbon that had that BMW? I thought it was Most Wanted.
The intro to Carbon, you drive the BMW into the city and then get stopped by Cross, and then lose the car.
Ah, yeah, okay.
So you would be driving down this canyon, at the end there would be the truck that you hit.
Right. God, it's been so long.
It's such a good game.
Yeah, the start of Carbon is connected to the end of Most Wanted. I remember now. Yeah, this feels like it's more of a rally time trial style track.
Yeah.
But we'll embrace the carnage.
let's try and avoid the carnage.
I don't think that's possible. Yeah, there it is. Someone's flown already.
I think they did that on purpose. That one person didn't break enough. This is actually surprisingly okay.
As you've been talking about like all the various different game modes that you could have, like it's quite interesting. All the various race. Oh no! No, damn it. Yeah, all the various racing game modes that you can have. There's quite a lot that have existed in all the different games over the years.
Yeah.
It'd be fun to see those realised, especially, you know, like you're saying, on that a dual type game mode on a track that's made for it, sort of thing like this.
Yeah. Yeah, this track will be definitely better as a time trial.
Oh, I'm off.
We'll get that eventually, though. For now, this is still fun.
Launched him back on the track.
When no copy is available, we can just do it all at the same time, maybe.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the idea for tracking mode.
Yeah, this would be good on that as a everybody's all at the start, ghosted.
Yep. We just need to figure out why passive mode doesn't actually work on one sync.
It's good stuff. Just like it's such a surreal and unique thing to be doing this. From what, you know, say 8 years of playing GTA, and everything has just been GTA and in GTA,
yes.
and now we're playing external tracks in GTA. Okay, Rallycross. So we have to do a man. Oh yeah, I see the Joker 0 out of 1 at the top. It actually counts it in the UI as well.
Yep. Also, don't jump the start. If you jump the start, you will be penalized.
You have to do an extra Joker.
Yes.
Okay.
If you want to do an extra Joker, go ahead and jump the start. Nobody wanted to.
Oh no, oh no. See, this is why Rallycross are done with like 6 people on 1-minute tracks.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's still the same amount of carnage on even those Rallycross races.
I'll just ban everyone but 6 people, and then try again.
It's controlled carnage in real life Rallycross.
Okay.
I like that there's a Rallycross mode baked in. Like that's just more game modes is always a good thing. So you can just, if you want to do a rallycross race with a mandatory joker lap, you don't need to stipulate, okay, everybody's got to do a joker lap, and then have everybody trust that they're going to do a joker lap. It's good to have these game modes just baked in so that you can just host it and everybody's forced to do it. Same with mandatory pit stops and things like that. It's stuff that we're doing all the time. This has been rough. This has been very rough.
Very narrow track with a lot of cars. This is, I blame Whitey.
To be fair, if this is the nature of rallycross tracks. They're even shorter and sometimes more narrow than this.
With 6 people.
But just, it's normally with 4 or 6 people.
We were doomed from the start.
Yeah. For a full rallycross implementation, you'd need to split people up into like groups of 4 or 6 and have them run simultaneously in their own little races.
That's doable.
And then the winners of each race go into like a final. And that's how rallycross fully works. I mean, you could have A final, B final, C final, whatever for the overall listing, but that's how rallycross generally is run.
So the thing is, once you start going into like, alright, well, this rallycross will require like 3 different races to go through all the different, heats or whatever, then it becomes less of a pick up and go kind of game mode.
Well, that's why I was thinking it would like all be done simultaneously. It's probably not possible to do that.
No, it very much is.
Like you'd have to just have people go on their own, in their own little areas. So then it would be maximum.
Absolutely have different heats going at the same time. That's no problem.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I will add that as a feature. The thing is, you'd have to have like the championships after that. So like the winners of all the different races would have to go into one together, right?
Yeah. I mean, like if you were doing a longer event, you'd have the winners and second places go into like semi-finals, and then the top 3 in the semi-finals go into the final. But I feel like that's too much for a game mode. But at least if you're gonna split people up, you want to at least have like a final where it's the winners of each heat, for example.
Yeah. So I want to add a kind of tournament mode so that it's easier to host events that have brackets and stuff.
Right.
And that would probably be where that could fit in.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what like rallycross events generally are. They're like brackets where the top few go through to the next stage and things. That'll be pretty cool having that baked in.
Yeah. I cannot promise any time frame.
Oh no, of course. Yeah. 24 people around. Even this rallycross track is like double the length of what a normal rallycross track would be for a normal format, and even that has been a challenge with this many people.
Maybe it's a good thing we went for the long one then.
Yeah, I think so. It's good though. It's good to see.
Why would you do that?
It's good to see how even just like something as simple as putting a joker lap, mandatory joker lap in. It's good to see it actually in.
Oh, what a
Like
scumbag.
all these little features that we might have wanted, say, Rockstar to put in vanilla GTA, or the things that we do every stream as we're racing around, and I just host a rallycross event randomly, or we often do races with mandatory pit stops and things. Seeing those things that we're doing all the time actually programmed in as a feature, it's something special. So thank you for indulging our racing desires.
I'm just glad people like it.
Yeah.
This is actually the first time I've played the game, done any races in like over a year.
Wait, really?
Same.
You guys are making it, but you're not actually getting the time to try out your stuff.
Right.
I think it's the same for Noctis, but I actually have more fun making stuff than playing it.
Right. I can understand that.
Like when I'm testing a car, I will more often than not, find myself just randomly driving the car that I'm testing and not even testing it.
Right,
I just drive around for a bit and then I realise, oh, I'm wasting time, I need to go back to doing this. So that's my playing of the game, I guess. But actual racing on the racing server, no, we don't really do that much. That's just kind of nice.
It has been a bit of fun for me, you know, digging into the game and reverse engineering bits of it and stuff.
A bit of fun and a lot of pulling hair out, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
So based on your thoughts about that, the fact that you have delved into the game, reverse engineered it, created all this stuff, what's your take on how Rockstar treat the game? Do you think they underutilize the potential of it, or do you think that I don't know, they're doing what's best for the mass majority of people? Like, do you think they could do more? Given their Rockstar?
That story that recently came out about the dude that found out that the loading times in GTA were because their parser was completely awful and waiting too much time?
Yeah, he fixed it and like it lowered loading times by like 80% or something.
Yeah, that is the entire game.
That's the entire game. Okay, the entire game is like that.
Yeah, the entire game is just ridiculously slow, overhead. It wastes so much time for no reason.
Okay.
It's also built on top of the older games, so the way the GTA car models are loaded is there is a normal model and a high model. The normal model contains 4 LODs, which is what GTA 4 used, and then they just slapped an extra model on top with a high model for GTA 5. So you can see remnants of the older games inside this game, like they still code from GTA San Andreas in this game.
Oh wow, okay. They're just like adding stuff on top rather than like going back and doing it from scratch or something.
Yeah.
I mean, the vehicle handling code from GTA 3, the first 3D GTA, is still used in GTA 4. It was only finally ripped out in 5. And
really?
Red Dead Redemption 3 still uses code from San Andreas.
Wow.
Like, there's a lot of baggage in this engine. And the Rage engine itself is just a descendant of the Angel engine from Angel Studios back in the 90s.
Do you think it would be better off like changing engine completely?
No.
Do you think that it would be better off still utilizing the same engine but actually building things from scratch?
So, I mean, the engine's fine. It got us this far. I think they're underutilizing it.
Right.
Because, like, you see how we're doing all the stuff we've been through, like, how many races and how quickly?
Yeah.
You can't do that in vanilla. They have so much padding. They have so much extra time waste in there.
Right,
for no reason.
I think the time waste is probably somewhat intentional though. It's like, because if you can do less things, you can earn less money in the online mode, etc.
Well, yeah, that's true.
You're probably right.
Because at the end of the day, Rockstar is a business, and their business is to make money. Like, it's not to make games; it's to make money. And if people are buying more shark cards, they're making more money. That's the whole point. It's like with all of the new stuff with like the real world sponsorships and everything. Like, those sponsorships are not being paid by Rockstar. Rockstar are being paid to have those sponsorships or those advertisements in the game. It's the double dipping basically. So people are buying shark cards to buy the stuff in game, whilst also being paid from the
To have
companies
this stuff in the
themselves
first place,
to
yeah.
host that content and advertise that content. So it is a cash cow for Rockstar. It's why it's probably still going to be going on the new consoles with a new updated version.
I guess the proof that it is all just underutilized and so much more could be done with it is these FiveM servers like yours and Project Oncoming and all the RP servers that are created, the amount of stuff that is done on those servers and how far the game can be pushed and can be improved just by people doing it in their spare time and whatnot. I guess that's proof that so much more could be done, really.
But what you also have to consider with Rockstar as well is that they're a company and they have to provide support for the game. So having a game that works on as many things with the least amount of problems as possible is better for them because it will reduce their overheads. Whereas us, we can do experimental things, and if it goes wrong, i.e. today, we can spend the time fixing it. But if it's like 1 million people playing the game, we won't have enough time to do it.
Right. Yeah.
So having a game that works 99.99% of the time is probably way more beneficial for Rockstar than it is having like all of these nice features and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's why they never go back and change car performance or fix cars that we think are broken, but technically they do work because they don't want to risk breaking something and then break something else. And
You can be mad.
Well, yeah, that's the whole game itself. Like, nothing is ever changed once it's been downloaded from their server. So, like, say how the patches work is a new patch gets downloaded, and models are then overridden in place. So there's like, I've counted 3 Cascos, 3 separate instances of the Casco in the files.
Right.
Because they just override whatever's loaded last is what sticks, basically.
Right. Okay.